About 1,500 active duty troops are being deployed to our southern border, but for a very limited duty. The Biden administration says these 1,500 troops will only provide administrative support for only approximately 90 days, and that's it. Deploying troops to the border area, it's not a new idea. This has been done before by other presidents. In 2006, President George W. Bush deployed 6,000 National Guard troops to multiple states: California, Arizona, New Mexico, and Texas. Then in 2010, President Obama ordered a deployment of up to 1,200 troops. And in 2018, President Trump ordered the Pentagon to deploy 5,000 troops. Biden's decision is sparking a backlash among members of his own party. In a statement Tuesday, Senate Foreign Relations Committee Chairperson Bob Menendez said, quote, "The Biden administration's militarization of the border is unacceptable. There is already a humanitarian crisis, and deploying military personnel only signals that migrants are a threat. Nothing could be further from the truth," end of quote. And Minnesota Democrat Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, echoing the senator's comment, she tweeted, "The victims of this policy will be the innocent, people who committed no crime other than daring to seek a better life." And on Tuesday, South Carolina Republican Senator Tim Scott wrote an op-ed in the Washington Examiner. He wrote in part that Biden won't rise to his duty on the border crisis, so I'm rising to mine. I unveiled a two-pronged approach this week that would enable us to secure our border, go after the Mexican cartels, and safeguard our families from the scourge of the fentanyl crisis. South Carolina Senator Tim Scott joins me. Good evening, sir.
Greta, good to be with you. Thanks for having me again on your show. Love your show.
Thank you for being here. All right, let me start first with the cartels. The cartels are all over the region, from the very southern point where the walking starts, which is Nicoclí, Colombia, at the bottom of the Darien Gap, all the way up to Mexico and to our border. When you say handle the cartels first, do you mean treating them like terrorists, which would mean sending U.S. troops into those countries?
We do not need to send U.S. troops to the country. What we do need to do, however, is to start by freezing their assets. We can sanction their assets and freeze them. Cutting off the money supply to the cartels is the first very important step. We can use drones and other forms of our military if we wanted to target the labs and the places where the fentanyl is made. If we cut off the blood source, which of course is the money, we have done the first necessary step, and then we can escalate from there. I believe that first step, which my legislation accomplishes, is one of the most effective ways for us to deal with the Mexican cartels. Without money, they cease to exist. The second step is to provide the kind of technology that is currently available to have the ability to monitor our entire southern border. About $5 billion of new technology will allow us to surveil our southern border and stop fentanyl from coming across our southern border. And Greta, the third prong of our approach comes out next week. That would be to reinstate Title 42, because there is a healthcare crisis happening because of our southern border. It is fentanyl. COVID is done, but fentanyl, leading to the deaths of 70,000 Americans, is a health care crisis that we can prevent by reinstating Title 42 for the current health care emergency.
Do we as a nation have any obligation to help, for instance, Colombia? Because when I took this show to Nicoclí, which is where all the thousands are gathering to begin this foot journey, there were people there, at least that was being reported, official numbers, from 87 nations. Some were economic migrants, like from Venezuela, or some from failed governments like Haiti. So the people from Afghanistan, well, they were trying to get away from the Taliban after we said we'd take care of them, and then we ditched them, essentially. We left them there. Some are coming from China. Some are coming from Indonesia. They all have different reasons, but they are gathering there by the thousands. So if we seal our border and we take care of the cartel up at the northern part of Mexico, our southern border, what happens there in Colombia and all those people that are going there?
Well, there's no doubt that President Biden has failed this nation as it relates to having no serious southern border policy. Our southern border is wide open, insecure, and unsafe. Frankly, we should take the Inflation Reduction Act, which provides 87,000 new IRS agents, and provide thousands upon thousands of new Border Patrol agents. We are the most compassionate country on earth. We have been assisting the nation of Colombia for decades now. We can continue to do that. We can actually have a president that chews gum and walks at the same time. Securing our southern border is the most compassionate thing we can do, number one. Number two, send a signal to the rest of the world. Descending upon America's southern border does not give you entry. Part of the challenge that we have today is that there is a negative message being sent out throughout the world that if you can get to our southern border, you get to come in. If you cut that message off by simply closing our southern border, by having our southern border surveilled, we can save more lives on the other side of the border by having people remain in their countries of origin.
Well, you know, that message you're talking about, it is metastasized globally, because I will tell you, I met people from China in Colombia, and what they do is in China, they go on the internet, and the cartel tells them where to go, what to do, how much it costs, where to stop, and then they fly to Ecuador, which has no visa requirements, so they can fly to Ecuador and then they walk north. In fact, if they're flying from China and the plane happens to stop in Panama or Mexico, they don't get off because they can't, because they have visa requirements. They go on to Ecuador. So I mean, it is such a global problem that is now bottlenecking on our southern border. And so it's even a larger problem, but maybe the border is the more urgent problem in the short run.
There's a bottleneck, Greta. Listen, there are 7 billion people on Earth that would love to call America their home. We cannot have this country overrun. If you don't control your border, it's like not controlling your back door. Common sense policy starts with closing the border, starts with providing more incentives to our Border Patrol agents to stay longer, providing more resources to have more Border Patrol agents, and sending the clear message that coming to America's southern border is not an entryway. Greta, there's 155 countries that are represented by the people descending upon our southern border. It's one of the reasons why we have to extend Title 42 and close our southern border. My bill provides $10 billion more to close that southern border.
You know what I don't understand. So these borders in Texas and Arizona, I mean, they are so overrun with the number of people. They don't have the resources to take care of them. And so if they get bused or flown to the northern cities, and the northern cities have a stroke, you know, they say, why are you sending these people? We can't take it. And it's as though the northern states don't realize how difficult it is for the southern states who are actually on the border. So I don't understand why even the senators in these northern states aren't working more to try to find a solution.
Well, Greta, I think you hit the nail on the head. I spent some time recently talking to Governor Abbott of Texas, talking through the real crisis happening on the southern border and how the illegal immigrants are running through towns, tens of thousands landing every day, arriving every day, walking every day across that southern border that's contiguous with Texas. That is a crisis. Listening to the governor, showing up and being counted. I would recommend every senator from a blue state, particularly New York, Massachusetts, come to Texas, see the problem, talk with the governor so you can understand the crisis you think you're getting in your state. It pales in comparison to the actual crisis on border states.
And, you know, Senator, the thing that's so tough is because I've actually, I mean, you know, I keep saying I've been down there because you go down there, you don't forget it. I mean, it's not just sort of a snapshot where I parachute in and leave. I mean, we spend a lot of time talking to the people. And the thing is that you're not being kind when you're putting people at such high risk. You go through that Darien Gap, you may not live, you may get raped, you're going to drown. There's so many things. How kind is it when we create such these expectations for these people that we can't meet? And that these families get separated. I mean, I don't know how kind that is.
It's not kind at all. Frankly, I think this administration is complicit with the humanitarian crisis that's happening on the other side of our border, very much preventable. Sending false signals to the rest of the world that America is open through the back door is literally putting lives at risk. We're better than that. We need our President of the United States and the radical left to be better than that. The American people are the most compassionate people on earth. We have more immigrants in this country than any other country on earth. You just have to come through the front door. We have to have a meritocracy that we meet the needs of our employers and of our country, not a back door where there is no assimilation, there's no acclimation. We can't do that. That is not a policy that is supported by common sense or American values. It's just being led by our president.
There are a number of people, and you're one of them. I practically have a GPS locator on. I know you've been taking your spring break in Iowa and New Hampshire this last spring. This last couple of months. So when's the announcement?
Listen, I will say that I believe that America can do for anyone what she has done for me. I'm a believer in who we are as a people, and we can restore hope, create opportunities, and protect America. May 22nd, North Charleston, South Carolina, at Charleston Southern University is where I will make a very important announcement. I know, Greta, that you are coming in person on that day, Monday, the 22nd of May. I'm looking forward to seeing you in person. Everybody loves coming to Charleston. Come on down.
Well, it is a beautiful place, I must admit that. Senator Tim Scott, thank you very much, sir.
God bless. See you soon.